I quit my job so I can go live abroad and learn Spanish for a full year. Yeah, I'm that serious about learning Spanish. Why? Because apps like Duolingo do not work. Taking college level courses kind of work, but it's not enough. Why? Because you really do need that fully immersive experience when you're learning a new language, right? When you're dealing with the money, when you're ordering food at a cafe or restaurant, when you're taking martial arts or dance classes, when you're learning about the transportation system, you really do need to experience everything in Spanish. Think about how little kids learn a language, right? They point to something and, oh, that's a door. Oh, that's a chair. Oh, that's a person, right? That fully immersive experience really goes a long way in learning a new language, right? So that's my experience, and that's the experience I want to share with you in this video, right? So it's spring 2023, right? So I quit my job and I go live in Buenos Aires, Argentina, right? So I enroll in this school called the Vamos Academy. So I am taking classes, right? I'm learning the grammar, I'm learning the verb conjugation, the vocabulary, and I'm taking 4 classes a week, every single week for a couple of months, right? But outside of class, I keep a Spanish journal. Every single day, I'm writing in the Spanish journal. What did I do yesterday? What kind of conversation did I have with the Uber driver the day before? What new verbs have I learned? What new verb conjugations, right? So it's not just homework, it's basically trying to dump and collect everything I know about the language up until that point. I had experience. I now want to be able to describe that experience in Spanish. And what starts out as a written experience can then become a spoken experience, right? So what I first practice to describe in writing, I can then more easily describe in speech. Because if you're anything like me, you find that, well, reading in Spanish is one thing, listening in Spanish is one thing, and then you try writing, it becomes a little more difficult, and then you try speaking, and it becomes exponentially more difficult. So I found that keeping a writing journal and writing in it every single day was hugely, hugely helpful, right? So this all started back in Buenos Aires. And in addition to those Spanish classes, I also went to language exchange meetups. You have them here in Los Angeles, in California, New York, other major cities. That helps a lot because you're going to meet other people who are as equally enthusiastic about learning Spanish as you are. Now, if you're in a Spanish-speaking country like Argentina or Mexico or Spain, you're going to find a lot of native Spanish speakers who are enthusiastic about learning how to speak English. And there we go. Now you have the makings for a really great relationship. You're a native English speaker, they're a native Spanish speaker. Maybe we can help each other out. So language exchange meetups are an excellent way to make friends, get more practice in speaking. They're also a language learner, and so they're going to be patient with you, right? They're not going to judge you. They understand that learning a new language is challenging, but they share your enthusiasm for learning a new language, so they will be more than happy to be patient with you. They'll help you out. It's all fun. It's all part of the learning process, right? So there's a lot of shared values here. So if you're looking to improve your Spanish speaking skills and you haven't checked out a language exchange meetup, I don't know what you're waiting for. Go attend one. If there isn't one in your city or nearby, create one. Create a meetup and see what happens, right? So this is Buenos Aires. I'm taking English classes. Sorry, I'm taking Spanish classes. I'm attending language exchange meetups. I'm also, at this point in my life, I'm still a martial artist, right? I'm training in jiu-jitsu but primarily in Muay Thai kickboxing. Playing martial arts in Buenos Aires, so I enroll in a gym, and now I have to be able to identify various anatomical parts in Spanish: hombro, pecho, pierna, pie, and so on, right? Because all the instruction is being done in Spanish, and if I want to understand the jiu-jitsu move of the day, and I want to communicate with the person who's like choking me out, I gotta improve my understanding and command of the Spanish language con prisa. And there's a rush to it, right? There's pressure, and that pressure is good. It's good pressure, right? It's motivation, it's incentive to keep learning. That's what you want. You want to approach this in a very systematic way where everything around you, the entire environment, is incentivizing you to learn Spanish faster and more thoroughly, but not just incentivizing you, but also helping you out. So I had the martial arts classes, I had the Argentine tango classes because I'm also a competitive and performative Argentine tango dancer, so might as well get some dance lessons in while I'm in Buenos Aires. Um, and as you're traveling around Buenos Aires, or if you, I didn't go to Patagonia, but you could go to Patagonia and just expand your vocabulary and other aspects of the language that way as well. Speaking to natives, right? So some of you might know that the accent in Buenos Aires is very different, has a strong Italian influence. Sometimes that accent is impenetrable, other times it is penetrable. That all comes with the territory of learning a new language, right? You got to start tuning your ears to that. And so I don't think you're going to get that if you're going to learn Spanish from like a Duolingo or some other gamification app, or if you go to your community college. It's just not the right experience. It's not the experience. It's not the proper experience. It's better than nothing. Going to college and learning a language there is better than an app, and an app is better than nothing. I mean, there are levels to this, of course, but ideally you want that full immersive experience, right? All right, so that's Buenos Aires. Is there anything else I have to say about that? Probably in a future video, but let's move on. So during my year off, I didn't just go to Buenos Aires. I also went to Mexico City. Unfortunately, my trip there was cut short, and maybe I'll talk about it in a future video, but for this video, it's irrelevant. After that, I went to Barcelona, Spain, or Barcelona. Every region in the world is going to have a different accent. Even in the United States, we have regional accents, right? Boston, New York, South accent, Southern accent, Texas, West Coast accent. Everyone's going to have a different Midwest. In English, you accept there's going to be different regional accents and even different national accents. Australian, Irish English, British English, right? So you accept that about English. You have to accept that about Spanish as well. In fact, that's a big part of the beauty of Spanish. You're going to get one accent in Argentina, another one in Mexico, and yet again, another one in Spain. The beautiful thing about Spain, however, in Barcelona, it's a very cosmopolitan city, right? You're going to see people from around the world. It's really there's many beautiful things about Barcelona. This is one of them. It's also true about Mexico City and Buenos Aires, but from my experience, to a lesser extent. So in Barcelona, I heard Spanish being spoken in an Irish accent, a British accent, a Japanese accent, Russian accent, anything you can imagine, Italian accent. It was fascinating. It was beautiful. It was beautiful just to hear the accent in the language. Personally, I love accents. Not all of them, but oftentimes when I have a friend here in the Tango community, for example, we have a lot of Eastern Europeans, Ukrainians, Russians, Czechs, and so on. And they're going to have people from Poland, and they're going to have their accents. And I think it's beautiful. I think it adds a beauty to the language. They typically not too excited about it because they want to assimilate, and I get it. But selfishly, I don't want them to lose their accent. Anyways, back to Barcelona. So in Barcelona, I'm hearing all these different Spanish accents. That's good. It's good for tuning your ear if you want to become a fluent Spanish speaker. Also, I did enroll in a Spanish school called Camino Barcelona or Camino Barcelona. I'm not a fan about the lisp either. And in this school, I was doing 4 hours a day, 5 days a week, right? So we had this like an hour and a half conversational class, and then the rest was spent in grammar class. A lot of people recoil at the thought of taking a grammar class. Oh, grammar's boring. Dude, grammar, I would not know how to speak Spanish if it wasn't for grammar. Some people think you can just like passively absorb a language by just watching like 1,000 hours of like Spanish videos or listening to Spanish music. No, no, it's not my experience. Comprehensible input, yeah, you'll pick it up along the way. The brain will just kind of form the neural networks like a child. Nope. That was not my experience. You have to sit down, you have to crack open a grammar book, some of which I still have, and you have to learn the grammar, right? The 4 or 5 different past tense, the difference between indicative grammar versus subjunctive grammar. You have to sit down and learn the grammar. And that becomes so much more manageable if you sit down, you get yourself a journal, and you write in your Spanish journal every single day. It's inescapable. I'm telling you, from a year of studying and living abroad in Spanish-speaking countries, I became fluent in Spanish under a year. I credit that in big part in taking grammar classes, living abroad in Spanish-speaking societies, but the journal. the journal, right? I no longer live in Barcelona. I'm back here in California, but the journal practice I developed, I'm sticking with it. I write in that thing damn near every single day because that's what it takes to improve. I mean, are you gonna be like what kind of person are you? Like what kind of work ethic do you have? How much do you, or better yet, what kind how much do you value this? Do you really value this? It's one thing to say you value this, it's quite another thing to put your words and your thoughts into action. Start a daily writing practice in Spanish. I'm telling you, you will not regret it. It'll be one of the biggest investments in your Spanish language journey that you can make. All right, so we're in Barcelona. Barcelona is amazing, right? So I spent a summer in Barcelona, summer 2023, from like June to like October, right? And so I'm taking these classes at Camino Barcelona, and they have these cultural tours. You go throughout the city almost every single afternoon after class. On the weekends, at these bus trips over to like really beautiful beaches an hour north of Barcelona. That way, you're not always hanging out Barceloneta. I forget what it's called, but the beach on Barcelona, Barceloneta. I forget what it's called. It's a beautiful beach, but if you want to be like shoulder to shoulder with tourists, that's where you go. If you want a little more space, a little more natural beauty, a little less city, you go up north. So that was beautiful. I can't remember the name of any beaches because they weren't actually in Spanish. Because I remember Barcelona is in Catalan, so the official language is something different. All right, so and then you also I forget that Barcelona, Spain, Europe has like over 2,000 years of recorded history. It's ancient. Here in the United States, what do we have, like? How long has the United States been a country? Like less than 300 years, and then before that, I guess you can trace the history of Europeans in America back to like 1492. Starts out pretty ugly, and well, anyways, this is not a political show, but yeah. So there's a lot of beautiful things about learning Spanish in Spain broadly, but Barcelona in particular. By the way, Barcelona is a great starter city. If you've never been to Europe and you want something that feels kind of familiar to New York or LA, but still very much European, Barcelona. You cannot go wrong. There's a lot of street art. There's a lot of museums. There's great food. Like I said earlier, it's cosmopolitan. You're gonna meet people from all around the world. It's a great place to be. However, if you're big keeping up with the news, the locals hate tourists because we're jacking up the real estate prices and inflating prices all around. That's a whole other conversation. Anyways, bringing it back to learning Spanish. Barcelona was such a great experience. Here's a little story. Here's how I realized that I really am American. So I was sitting in class one day, and I'm meeting my classmates. A lot of them are European university students, right, from Italy, Germany, France, and so on. So they're coming here, taking classes alongside with me, and I start to get to know them. And I asked them, how many languages do you know? And they're saying like 3, 4, 5, 6 languages. I'm like, 5, 6 languages? I'm over here learning my second language. And that's when I realized, damn, I really am American. Because in America, the average number of languages spoken is I looked it up, between 0.8 and 1 languages. There are some people in this country who can't even speak the English proficiently, let alone a second language. Forget about it, right? So in that moment, I felt very humbled. Like, okay, all right. So anyways, that was an experience. So coming back to learning Spanish, I did attend language exchange meetup groups on a weekly basis in Barcelona. There's several you can go to because it's a relatively big city. There's a lot of people there. So language exchange meetup groups, the big thing in Barcelona, as they were in less so in Buenos Aires and even less so in Mexico City. Can't go wrong with Barcelona. All right, so what else happened in Barcelona? I want to tell you about that helped me on my Spanish language journey. Hearing different accents, the cultural immersion. I also took dance classes in Barcelona. It wasn't tango, it was salsa and bachata. You have a lot of Latinos in Barcelona, by the way, who live and work there. And so you do have a Latino influence, which is nice. And I think that's all I want to say about my experience living abroad and learning Spanish in different Spanish-speaking countries. Those, again, were Argentina, Mexico, and Spain. My favorite by far is Spain for a whole host of reasons. Maybe I can go into that in a different video. But for now, here's some takeaways I want to share with you to help you improve your command of the Spanish language, right? Your learning journey. The first one, I can't emphasize this enough, start a daily writing practice. It is fully within your power to buy a notebook, buy a pen, make it a nice one too, and just write. It could be about what you did yesterday. It could be like a writing exercise, writing on a topic. It can be an exercise on only using a specific form of grammar or like 2 or 3. Make it interesting for yourself. Make it like a fun, playful activity. There is no reason why writing has to be boring. If it's boring, that's your own fault, completely your own fault. Sit back, reflect, and think about how you can make writing fun for you. You have to. It's helped me so much. I became fluent in Spanish less than a year. Granted, I had a bunch of other things going for me, but writing played a huge part. So number 2 would be write every single day. I think I already said that. Number 3 is, so that's writing. And then number 3 would be speaking. You need to find every opportunity that you can to speak in Spanish, right? So a language exchange meetup. If you live in a big city in the United States or wherever you're watching this from, look to see on Meetup or Eventbrite or Luma or wherever to see if there's a language exchange meetup. People love to meet up and just sit down, have a cup of coffee, a bite to eat, and just practice speaking in Spanish. It's a great way to make friends. It's a great way to become an active and integrated member of a local community and feel like you belong somewhere. It's good for your mental health, and you get to improve your Spanish along the way. It's just so many benefits. It really is. You can't go wrong with language exchange meetup groups. And if there isn't one in your area, start one. And if you live like in rural, XYZ, I don't know, fill in the blank, and it's really not feasible. Another option is to go to online tutors, right? There's plenty of people in South America who will speak to you in Spanish for an hour online for like $10 an hour, $15 an hour. It's nothing. It's an investment in your education. If you want to develop a Colombian accent, go speak to someone online who lives in Colombia. If you want develop an accent from Argentina so you can speak like an Argentino, speak to someone from Argentina. Argentina's economy is in the shitter. $10 goes a long way for them. They're gonna be super happy that they have business with you, right? I mean, South America in general is not doing great. Venezuela and Argentina in particular. But whatever accent you want to learn, not a lot of people want to learn a Spain Spanish accent, but if you want that, you can have it. Go online, find your online tutors. That's an option that's accessible to everyone. It's not as inexpensive as other options like a journal, which is free, but it's an option for sure. Another one will be an AI conversation bot, right? So with all these language apps, I'm building one myself, by the way. I'm building an AI Spanish language app. If you want to be informed about that, subscribe to the channel. And I'll start putting out videos about that as well, because I'm drawing from my experiences of learning Spanish abroad, and I'm trying to, I think revolutionize might be a strong word, but I'm trying to create the kind of Spanish language learning app that I wish I had like 2 years ago, right? Duolingo's not cutting it. Anyways, so AI conversation bots, I think, are better than nothing, right? So you subscribe to an app, $10 a month, opposed to $10 an hour that you would pay to speak with the human in South America, which I think is a better option, by the way. But if that's not an option for you, more affordable, more accessible option would be like an AI conversational chatbot. So you have that. You have a lot of tools at your disposal. If you're serious about learning this language, as I hope you are, as I know I am, I'm hoping one of these helps you out. Also, you can also just make a Spanish-speaking friend, right? Instead of like going for politicians to like throw these people in concentration camps, go make a friend. They would love to speak to you in Spanish, right? It's because it's their opportunity to share something they know how to do, they have an expertise in, and contribute value to other people's lives. People love doing that. People love contributing value, right? And so go make a friend with a Spanish-speaking person, immigrant or not, doesn't matter. Just go make a friend. Now you have a friend who can help you learn Spanish. It's a win-win-win-win. You can't go wrong with that. Make some friends. Lastly, most expensive, but number one recommended is go travel to a Spanish-speaking country, take Spanish classes there, make friends there, go to cultural events there, become an active and integrated member of a local community there. That's what I did. I cannot recommend that path enough. Albeit I did save some money to be able to afford to not have to work and live abroad for a year, Spain being the most expensive trip. But if you can do that, if it's in your budget, that's something I personally done and it benefited greatly from. And I mean greatly. Like that is the gold standard. That really is the gold standard. You can get a fully immersive education in Spanish by living abroad in a Spanish speaking country. I cannot recommend it enough. So that's the video. If you found this helpful or at the least bit entertaining, you know what to do. Like the video, subscribe, and I will keep more of these videos coming about my personal journey, my successes, my challenges in learning Spanish, the tips I have to share with you that have personally been invaluable for me. I will share that with you as well. And yeah, that's it. I'll catch you in the next video.